Hey, what's going on, guys? I saw an article I was going to talk about, and everything had all planned out, and then another conversation with my radical liberal friends happened. I'm just like, oh, there is no way I can't talk about this. This trumps the article. Ironically, trumps the article I had planned by a milestone. This Orwellian rewriting of history that these radical liberals are doing in real time before my eyes is astounding. We have truly reached Orwellian level rewriting of history, where literally something has happened within our lifetimes, within the last couple of years, something very, very recent that I can remember very easily. Like, years go by like months to me. When Obama was president, that seemed like just yesterday. Something that recent can happen, and my same liberal friends who acknowledge these things happened under Obama now are completely doing a 180 and are saying this never happened, only Republicans do this, only Bush and Trump do this. And I'm seeing, like, these are the exact same people that I know. I have known for years and years. Their short-term memory loss prevents them. I mean, I wish I could jump through Facebook in time easily and just go back to, 2014, 2015, for example, and get their posts for when they posted this crap. Just like, dude, you literally said the exact opposite not 5 years ago. What the fuck are you smoking? It can't be both, so which time were you correct, man? So what am I talking about exactly? Let's go through two examples real quick. The one that really astounded me was the fact some liberals are saying that Trump is bowing down to the Saudis, and only Republicans have done that throughout history. Clinton and Obama didn't do it. They stood up to the Saudis. They didn't let the Saudis dictate our foreign policy. But Bush and Trump, they totally bent over backwards for the Saudis and did whatever they wanted. And I'm just thinking to myself, you could easily disprove this in 2 seconds if you just bother to look anything up. People are like, oh, you can't trust the internet. The internet's full of made up shit. It's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of fake stuff on the internet, no doubt. But let's just go into this, shall we? We're going to take it's imaginary in their minds. We're going to take a magical journey through time. So Trump apparently sucks up to the Saudis because he doesn't want to go to war with Iran for them? Like, that's amazing. The fact, I can't even grasp what they're saying. To be fair, Trump does suck up to Saudi Arabia. No fucking doubt. I'm not going to deny that at all. Every president for decades and decades, basically after World War II, has sucked up to the Saudis. Why? Because of oil. Oil. We give them a free pass to treat their citizens like fucking dogs. Women are treated worse than dogs in that country. We give them a free pass to the human rights violations. We give them billions upon billions upon billions of dollars in weapons every single year, and then billions more in discounted military sales. Like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin, and that's just two off the top of my head that I can think of. They sell massive amounts of weapons and ammo and military tech to the Saudis at a massively discounted price. I'll put up the stats for U.S. foreign aid to Saudi Arabia. We protect them at the UN whenever the UN wants to condemn them for anything. We're one of the people on the council that can veto anything that any country puts up. We can veto it. We constantly protect them politically because of that. We protect them economically by constantly guzzling up their oil, at least less so now because we export oil now. But regardless, we still buy a fuck ton of their oil, et cetera, et cetera. All of these things that we across the board do. But the Democrats are playing favorites. They're playing for their own team. They want it to seem like only Republicans do that. They want to seem like only Trump and Bush did that. I'm like, do you have political fucking amnesia? Do you have short-term memory loss? Can you not remember just 4 years ago when Obama was president in 2015 or 2016 for the matter? In any year Obama was president, he gave massive amounts of military aid to the Saudis. He constantly protected Saudis. He bowed down to them at the waist to the Saudi king. Are you fucking kidding me? And they will sit there with a straight fucking face and say, nope, he didn't do that. He didn't politically, economically, militarily protect them. Only Trump is doing this. Trump touched the magical glowing orb with the Saudis. That means that he's their dog. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So giving logistical aid whenever the Saudis are massacring Yemenis and massacring Bahrainis simply because the Bahrainis wanted freedom of speech, freedom of democracy, freedom to own firearms. It's basic human rights. And we helped the Saudis quell that rebellion. Obama did that. No questions asked. Whatever you need, Saudi Arabia, here's jets to bomb kids with, missiles to explode women with, tech to help you rout out the protesters. All of this shit, which has been extensively documented on the internet. In books, for that matter, in case you don't believe the internet, it's been documented in official books too. Official government presses, State Departments, news media across the world, from any political leaning, left, right, center, libertarian, has been well documented. There is no way you could possibly fucking deny that Obama did not do that. It was all over the news for literally years. We have footage of Bahrainis showing us bullets that said "Made in America," gas canisters made in the U.S. that were shot at them simply for asking for human rights. The Saudis did that. Obama helped them do that. Obama politically covered up everything they did, politically protected them against the UN whenever the UN wanted to do anything about it. Whenever anyone wanted to do anything about it, they're like, nope, we're back in the Saudis. The Saudis are okay to do this, and quelled any dissent about that whatsoever. And you're going to sit there, you stupid Democrats, and say that he didn't do that. That is so insidious. That is so Orwellian. To sit there and act like all of this data doesn't exist. That all of these reports and interviews and statements and graphs and transaction details, all of these things reported by not only the government, because let's say you don't trust the government. I don't know why the government would cover this up, though. Why the Trump government would cover up that Obama was doing this. There's no motive for the government to cover this up. Why would Trump cover Obama? Why would Obama cover Bush? Why would Bush cover up for Clinton and all this? They wouldn't. They're on opposite teams. The only reason why they're oh my God, it's the utter incoherency of this. Let's say you don't trust the State Department website saying that Obama gave Saudi Arabia all this foreign aid. Check the Saudis' website. They say the same thing. Check other government websites that report on this. Britain, France, Germany, they say the same thing. Independent news media, they say the same thing. Ordinary journalists from America, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, they all say the same thing. These people are trying to deny something as apparent as 3 people walking out in the parking lot and they're like, oh, there's a Chevy Astro van there. And everyone in that parking lot agrees that's a Chevy Astro van. They take notes, they take pictures, they get the license plate, they have Google, you do the aerial footage with Google, Google confirms it, you have eyewitnesses that have no correlation with each other whatsoever, they haven't even talked to each other, saying, yep, there's a Chevy Astro van in the parking lot. You have people who hate each other, who agree that, yep, this Chevy Astro van was in the parking lot. It's just across the board, every single person on the face of the planet who was around here at this time, people who hate each other on the internet both get on Google and they see it. They go to other satellite things that aren't Google in case you don't trust Google. They see this van's here, etc., etc. Like, it is such a basic fact that this van was in this parking lot at this time. And then 3 years later, one person, being the Democrats, squawk incoherently saying, it wasn't a Chevy Astro van, it was a Honda Civic. What are you talking about? And people are like, but 3 years ago, you said it was a Chevy Astro. We have you on record saying that it was a Chevy Astro. It's like, no, you're lying. What are you talking about? And I'm like, and then everyone's like, well, go on Google and look. No, you're lying. They're covering it up. Well, go to the police report. The police officer gave that van a ticket. Go look it up. It's right there. No, they're covering it up too. Like, just That is the level of denial these Democrats are at right now. And you're just like, how much more evidence do you need to see that you are wrong on this? And furthermore, why do you think people are lying about this? Why do you think the State Department is required by law to release the foreign aid they give every single year? If they lied and say they didn't do this, then everyone will come to a screeching halt, and then Britain and France and the UN will be like, wait a second. This isn't what we documented. This isn't what you told us 3 years ago. What are you talking about, man? This is wrong. This is incorrect. And then there would be an investigation, State Department officially lying about how much aid they give. When have you ever heard that? When have you ever heard a State Department getting caught about saying they gave people money when they didn't, or vice versa? Never. That never happens. It's all documented for a reason, to avoid batshit crazy shit like this. But you will post to liberals' comments ad nauseum, no matter what evidence you give to them. More evidence is further proof of the conspiracy. Every single president did this, and not their conspiracy theory that only Republicans do this. I mean, it's just so fucking absurd. So let's say you think all of this data, all of this reporting from people who hate each other, who have no reason to agree with each other, agree on this. What type of information do you trust? How can you be sure of anything if you can't trust that overwhelmingly amount of evidence? They're going to point to, these news media, these radical liberal news organizations that say only Trump and Bush did this. Well, why are you trusting those media sources when you don't trust the same media sources reporting the thing you're denying? Why do you trust the Huffington Post, for example, saying, let's say hypothetically they said that only Trump and Bush support the Saudis? Why don't you trust the Huffington Post whenever they report correctly, surprisingly, on Obama supporting the Saudis, which they did? Everyone across the board agreed on this. How could you possibly deny it? You're like, well, that evidence is fake. That news reporting is fake. Okay, then what is true? Oh, this random website. Well, why is that random website true and these other things aren't? If I research 100 different news media, government studies, non-government sources, because, I'm a libertarian. I don't trust the government with shit. I don't rely on government sources for a lot of things. But when the government says one thing, and then small government advocacy groups who have every reason to make the government look bad, when they actually agree with the government, so it's like, yeah, that's actually the stats. When governments who don't even like each other, when China and Britain can report the exact same thing and they don't like each other, they have no reason to agree on things. Or every single country reporting the exact same thing. So 99 out of the 100 sources I check say one thing. They're a diverse, verified group of sources that's all saying the exact same thing. Then you get this one outlier that this radical liberals is pointing to, and just, it's like, I wonder who's right. Then you can say, well, that's the reason why you're believing the conspiracy theories, because all of the great powers are aligned with you. It's like, well, it's not just government. In fact, it's mostly not government. It's mostly think tanks that are reporting on the government's failures and crimes and all that stuff. Why would the government agree with libertarian groups that are criticizing them for spending too much in foreign aid? Why would the graphs be exactly the same? That makes absolutely no sense. Unless you think that libertarian and anti-big government groups are in bed with big government, and therefore there are no stats you can truly believe in because everyone's colluding, including anti-big government. So anti-big government groups are colluding with big government groups to make big government groups look good. Like, are you? But why are they doing that if they're reporting that Obama is supporting the Saudis? Like, just there is on no level can this possibly make sense. And yet that's what some radical liberals are doing. That only Bush and Trump supported the Saudis. Clinton and Obama, they stood up to them and they weren't their bitch. I'm sorry to report, radical liberals, but every U.S. president has been the Saudis' bitch since after World War II, and we discovered they have a massive amount of oil fields. Yeah. That's whenever we let them do whatever they want and gave them whatever they wanted. Let's say you don't trust the internet. Let's say you go to the history books and you report on how Lyndon Johnson and John F. Kennedy and Nixon and Carter all gave the Saudis whatever they wanted and let them do whatever they wanted. Are you saying that they somehow alter this history book from the 70s? That they somehow took the history book that I read and changed it? Well, that's funny because you can go to that same history book and it will say the exact same thing. The books are not changed. If you're talking about abortion, then of course people are going to fudge statistics because it's so controversial and it's so heated. But on which governments we give aid to and which UN resolutions we block, that's all common knowledge. That is so low on the totem pole with being controversial up until now, apparently, that there have been no reason to argue about it. Everyone's been on the exact same page. What color is the sky today? Blue. Republican, what do you say? Blue. Democrat, what do you say? Blue. Libertarian, what do you say? Blue. Let's say anarchist, what do you say? The color is blue. Anarcho-capitalist, what do you say? Blue. Anarcho-communist guy, what do you say? Blue. Blue, 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 blue. All these people across the board say blue, and then randomly 3 years later, one guy was like, "Oh, yeah, that one day this guy was actually green." But what are you talking about, dude? Why are you even arguing about this? There's no point in arguing whether the sky's blue or not. They're just playing teams. The radical liberals have Trump derangement syndrome so much, so to an insane, maniacal degree, that they are rewriting history on things that they don't even need to rewrite history about. They are so loony that they are actually arguing about whether that van was a Chevy Astro or whether the sky was blue. That is how they will go to the ends of the earth to argue. If it's contrarian to Trump, they will say it and they will stick to it no matter what, no matter how many sources you post saying this is incorrect, no matter how many posts you say, well, actually the Democrats were in support of this before and now you're against it. Now that Trump's in support of it, what are you talking about, man? Like, just any attempt on any sort of common ground. It's just such basic things, such as whether Trump or Obama supported the Saudis financially, economically, militarily, politically. We can't even agree on that anymore. I'm literally sitting on my computer in real time and seeing the memo come down from these radical liberals saying, we were never at war with Oceania. We were always at war with Europa. We were never at war with Oceania. Even though I can look at the screen 10 minutes ago and see that, yeah, actually, we have been at war with Oceania for years now. But if you mention it, nope. That's wrong. You're going to be taken out back and shot. We were never at war. You can't say that anymore. 10 minutes ago, you could say that. In 2016, Democrats were all in agreement of who Obama was giving aid to and who he was giving political preferences to and who, like, I could find there is no Democrat alive who's saying that Obama didn't support the Saudis in 2016. Not a single Democrat ever said that ever. And now in 2019, now that's the trend now. Now only Trump has done that and Obama hasn't done it at all. We are in Orwell's 1984. You're going to say, oh, that's preposterous, that's exaggerating. You're just exaggerating things just to get clicks on a video. If that's not Orwellian, I don't know what is. If you see the same guy, the same party worker who you sit next to, who you worked in the office for years now, saying, yep, we're at war with Oceania, we're at war with Oceania, and all of a sudden his programming changes, and bzzz, he's like, no, we were always at war with Europa. We were always at war with Europa. What are you talking about, Robert? We were never at war with Oceania. Obama never gave Saudis aid. Obama never gave them political protection. Obama never gave them drones and weapons and missiles to kill children with and quell democratic protests. He never did that. What are you talking about? Do you need to see the party leader? Do you need to see Big Brother? Do you need to love Big Brother? You need to love Big Brother. You need to love Big Brother. You need to love Big Brother. Big Brother.